Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the Silver Screen Cynics. This is Michael and Jared. In tonight's episode, we're going to be tackling the top 10 worst superhero movies of all time.
Did you just say top 10?
I'll say top 10. Yes, I did.
Wow, we're expanding from 5 to 10?
Yes.
That's because this topic requires 10.
Yes.
Every time we tried to compile a list of 5, we could not do it. We had to expand.
For every great superhero movie, there are 5 horrific superhero movies.
So we did our best to try and condense it to at least 10.
Yeah. One thing I think, Jared, is that in about 2000, we had kind of a new superhero movie boom, starting with Spider-Man. When Spider-Man came out, it was just like Marvel had their own movies, and all of a sudden DC was like, we want back in the action.
Yeah.
You know?
You mean it didn't? The boom didn't start with Batman Forever?
No, I think that ended the first boom. I think between Batman and Robin and Spider-Man, there was like no superhero movies. Like it was just like silence.
It was
a divide,
a dying market, and no one wanted to step back into it.
Yeah, it was like the death of a superhero era in movies.
So we're thankful for those terrible movies, because without them, we wouldn't have these great movies, because people hopefully learn from their mistakes and what not to make.
Yes, we're finding now, even movies that are coming, that the term reboot can be a good thing or could be a very horrible thing.
Mm-hmm. I must say, I am quite excited for the Spider-Man reboot. I know it's so soon, but I really like Andrew Garfield.
Really?
I do. The first movie I saw him in was The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, and I really liked him in that. And, you know, of course, Social Network, you're just like, oh, he's pretty cool. I like the kid, and I watched a video of him at Comic-Con where he actually stood up in the audience and gave this long speech about how much he loves Spider-Man, and, like, fans were, like, crying, like, oh my gosh, this guy is so awesome. And it was kind of cool to see that he has that kind of passion for the role, and I thought that was kind of cool. I'm pretty excited for it.
I would say my first instinct was too soon with Spider-Man.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I was just like, between Batman and Spider-Man, they are the two biggest superhero franchises in the past 15 years.
Yeah.
Easily. And after seeing the previews, I am totally going to see it, and I am more than happy to be proven that it's going to be awesome. So
yeah, I'm a little tired of Emma Stone. She's worn thin on me, so I don't really like actors with speech impediments, because I don't like to hear her lisp or watch her mouth lisp. But
she would have been a great Cindy Brady.
But I'm willing to look past that for a good movie. So yeah, superhero movies are not a thing of the past. That you'd think they'd have died off by now, but as long as they keep making good films like the Batman series, then it's going to keep going.
And as long as they're making bank, because no matter how bad they do, they know how many people will see it just because it's got pretty flashes and bangs.
I can truly respect a franchise that knows when to end.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Chris Nolan at the helm, you know, you can expect some good decisions, and you know he's definitely pulling out while he's ahead, and he's a strong writer and filmmaker. But you get on the other side, you get films that will never die, like Pirates of the Caribbean, and they should have died after the first one. Shrek, yeah, this is the final chapter, but we're gonna kind of keep going. Well, the same with Pirates of the Caribbean. They said, oh, this will be the final chapter in the story of Jack Sparrow. And it wasn't. And Transformers.
That will be another list. That's another day. The top 5 or 10 movie franchises that won't end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's get down to our top 10 list here.
Alrighty. At number 10, previously spoken for, Spider-Man 3. Yay!
Oh. Now, Spider-Man 3 is on the bottom of the list for a reason. It wasn't terrible, but it definitely had some things that you just cannot overlook. One of the biggest things for me was Topher Grace.
Oh my gosh.
Topher Grace was the actor that played Venom, and one of the worst decisions of the movie altogether was taking Venom's mask off so frequently. Because Venom is one of the coolest villains ever. You read the comic books, for one thing, Venom in the comic books he's a big, massive man. He's a big, like, ex-con, like, ugh. And he's played by the skinniest little weasel that you could find.
They get Eric from that '70s show to play Venom.
Oh, and Venom is so awesome in the comics. Every comic I've read with Venom in it, he's so awesome and massive. You're so scared of him. But if you've read the comics, he's more like Carnage. He's really small and kind of slinky, like, eh. And his mask comes off all the time, revealing Topher Grace's face with these stupid dentures in him. Then he can't talk with them in. So he's trying to talk like, you're afraid of me, aren't you, Peter? It so ruined most of the movie. Just because you're like, oh, here comes Venom. Look at that awesome effect on his face. Oh, his face is peeling back, revealing Topher. What the crap?
But my biggest beef with Spider-Man 3 is evil Peter Parker. When Peter Parker got the symbiote, it turned him into an emo goth kid. I just remember seeing the previews of the dark Spider-Man suit, and I was like, what the crap? This is gonna be so sweet. And then when he didn't have the suit on, his hair was combed to the side, it was black, and he was like, bro, I'm so, like, dark and sad, and I don't know why. And
I like to dance.
And then all of a sudden, he busts out into dance. This isn't the Spider-Man I know. You know? I saw this sneak preview opening night in IMAX. I saw it at 12:01.
Wow.
And I left, and I was like, well.
That was alright.
Yeah.
They really needed to cut down on the villains, because there's 3 villains in the movie. Cut down the villains, then just develop at least a couple of them. They could have done without Venom. I kind of like the backstory with Sandman, but yeah, it's not a terrible movie. Compared to the other 2, the second Spider-Man movie is one of my favorite superhero movies, and coming back from that, doing Spider-Man 3, it did not live up to Spider-Man 2 at all.
It was such a departure from 2 in the first one. It was just like, deserved to be on this list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on.
Number 9. Now, we debated a little bit about this one, whether it is actually a superhero movie, but I really want it on this list. And speaking of wanting it on this list, the movie is Wanted. Judging by how much crap goes on in this movie that is superhuman, I think that requires a superhero status. So I'm kind of justifying throwing this on this list because I really did not like this movie. For one thing, it has Angelina Jolie, and I think she sucks. I really liked James McAvoy, but I hated his American accent. His American accent was terrible, and there was excessive swearing, and just it made me feel dirty watching it. Because I really am not fazed by swearing too much, but when it's unnecessary and just kind of thrown in there to make things seem like a lot more hardcore, that annoys me. And it had a lot of that needless swearing in it. Anyways, the whole concept of this movie is ridiculous. We're like the fraternity of assassins, and we get our contracts from Illume.
Let's just think about that for a second. From Illume. Assassins that can throw bullets and make them curve around people, getting their contacts from wool.
And I understand that it's supposed to be kind of like larger than life action. You've got a car that flips and it lands on the side of a truck, knocking the truck over and driving off. I don't, whatever. But it does not justify how stupid this movie is.
Don't forget my favorite scene where he takes his keyboard at work and smashes it against his old friend's face, and as it smashes, you see the keys like spell out F you, and then U is a tooth. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous.
There's so many people that absolutely love this movie for the action, and this one it goes to prove that without a story, action is just stupid. And the action was cool, but it did not save a stupid concept for being absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Moving along at number 8.
Number 8 is another franchise killer, X-Men 3. Wow. Okay. Brett Ratner. This is where this douchebag ruined X3. I had huge expectations for this movie. Beast was in it. He was my favorite X-Men. Sure it was Kelsey Grammer playing it, but I was like, well, all right, that's kind of weird. But
he actually didn't do too bad, though.
Yeah, he was pretty good. But apparently, Bryan Singer, who directed the first two, decided that he was going to turn his focus towards Superman Returns, which was not a good choice. And this movie was picked up by our favorite director and producer, Brett Ratner, who we loved and talked about during our Oscar episode.
Uh-huh.
Brett Ratner looked at the script and he said, well, this is ridiculous. None of the X-Men are dying off. I'm just going to start killing them. So he kills Cyclops in the first 10 minutes, which, if there's one person you're going to kill Cyclops.
He's kind of emo anyways, pining over Jean Grey.
I mean, that was a great thing about the first two, or that X-Men series, is that they made Scott Summers a total douche. He is so lame. But anyway, they killed him off, and that was like, wow, that's pretty hardcore. And then they kill Professor X, and it was ridiculous. And I heard also that Halle Berry, who might appear later on this list, refused to do this movie unless she had a bigger role. So they chose to keep her on because she was like, oh, Halle Berry she won't do it unless she's got a big role, So they kept her on, and she becomes the leader after Professor X.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. I was like, are you kidding me? It was just such a departure. I definitely am not one of those uber comic book nerds that are like, Spider-Man web didn't come out of his arm. He had a little robotic mechanism on his wrist. Yeah, I'm not one of those people. If they take a little departure from the comics, I'm okay with that. But this was just like, took the first X-Men comic book and ripped it up. I just bled all over.
Yep.
And altogether, it was just really bad character development. Not only was it just not a good film, it just totally trashed the whole X-Men name.
Then they threw in random people that we've never even seen before. I had never even heard of them in the comics or anything. The people that Magneto is leading. Like, you've got the girl looking thing. I couldn't tell. It looked like Prince.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think it was a girl.
Was it a girl?
Yeah. It kind of looked like Selma Blair.
Or have you...
Or with a sex change or something.
Have you ever seen Interpol, the band?
Yeah.
I think it's the bassist of Interpol.
Yeah. Could very well be.
Okay, what's number 7, Mikey?
Oh, number 7 is perhaps our oldest movie on this list. It was made in the 80s. I liked it as a child, but I was a child. So it was Superman 4. Yes, that's right. Superman 4, kids.
What's the subtitle on that? Isn't it like The Quest for Peace or something like that?
The Quest for Peace. Something like that.
Something lame like that.
Yeah. Yes, kiddos. Long ago, in the 80s, starting in the 70s, there were Superman movies starring the late Christopher Reeves. And
he died?
He died. Yes.
Superman can't die.
Superman sure did die, and is not coming back.
The kryptonite wheelchair.
Yeah. Whoa, man. Whoa.
Too soon?
Too soon. Anyway, so the first Superman came out, and it had Gene Hackman in it as Lex Luthor. It came out the mid to late 70s. It was really good. Second one came out, really good. Third one came out, a little weird, had Richard Pryor in it. That's random. And then the fourth one came out. And look, when I watched it as a kid, I had no problem with it. It was Superman. I had no, it was like, why would I judge this movie at all? It's got Superman in it.
Yeah.
But when you look back on it, Superman 4 was pretty much about him being chosen by the United Nations to get rid of all the nukes in the world. And it was like a total political move for the movie, and it was totally just like, what? This isn't Superman. It wasn't fun. It became political, and basically the Soviets shot missiles up into the air, and all of a sudden Superman would grab it, and I kid you not, he would take all the missiles into space and ball them up into a big ball and throw them into the sun. That's right, he threw them into the sun. And Lex Luthor finds out, and he shoots his own little missile into the sun, and out comes flying a nuclear Superman. It was totally a ripoff of Rocky IV. It was totally, he was just like, destroy Superman. Just like that.
I must break you.
Superman couldn't hurt him and all sorts of stuff, but the funniest thing about this is that this supervillain was solar powered, and all he had to do to be controlled was to be taken out of the sun. So Superman traps him in an elevator shaft and throws him into the ground of the moon or something like that. It's just really, looking back on it, it was a truly ridiculous movie.
It sounds like you're describing a dream you had or something.
Yes. You should get that checked out, Michael.
And someone greenlit this.
Anyway, all right. Jared, you want to tell them what number 6 is?
Yes, number 6. For 2 words alone, this joined our list at number 6. Nicolas Cage. The movie is Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider was one of my all-time favorite comic book characters ever. So awesome and just the coolest looking character ever. As soon as I found out that Nicolas Cage was playing him, I was like, nope. I hate Ghost Rider. It's over. There's no way you can make Nicolas Cage cool. He is not a cool person. Ugh. Everything about Nicolas Cage annoys me. And he's okay in some roles where he's just a bumbling idiot, like Raising Arizona. But trying to make him really cool will ruin your movie.
Nicolas Cage is apparently psychotically obsessed with Superman. I mean, he named his child Kal-El, Superman's name, and nobody would give him a Superman role. Like, no, you're not giving you Superman. You are not Superman. And it's like,
you look like a teacher.
He's like, okay, well, what about Wolverine and X-Men? Nope, not giving you that. Captain America? No, not.
That'd be the Hulk.
Yeah, like the Hulk, definitely no. You can have Ghost Rider. You'll be in it for half the movie. The rest of the half will be a flaming CGI skull. Okay, I'll do it.
Oh, I accept this role. Oh. That's my bad Nicolas Cage impersonation. Anyways.
Bees!
Oh, the bees!
Okay, number 5.
Number 5, we've got Green Lantern. Now, it just was a bad movie. The villain was really weird because his head just keeps growing throughout the movie until he's just this nasty, giant-headed mess. And I don't even remember who the love interest was. I just wanted to forget it as soon as I saw it. Yeah.
I think the root problem, too, also is that Green Lantern just kind of sucks.
Yeah, he's a stupid character.
He's like a third-tier Justice League character.
Yeah.
What's your power, Green Lantern? Well, I have this ring, and I can turn it into different things. Green Lantern, green baseball bat. Did I say Green Lantern? Yeah, Green Lantern, green wrench.
I'll fix your bike. Look at my ring. It's now a wrench.
Yeah. Yeah, so pretty much Green Lantern kind of sucks to start with. So where do you go from there?
Yeah. All right. From here on out, we're going to have some really fun conversations because the top 4 are awesome. Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
At number 4 is Ang Lee's version of the Hulk. I remember being so excited for this film because just from the trailers, you could see how cool the Hulk looked because, we haven't really seen the Hulk with great CG effects to make him look like all huge. I didn't know who Eric Bana was when I saw it, so I was like, okay, they got some random guy. I love Jennifer Connelly. I think she's a wonderful actress, so that was another reason to be excited for it. And, of course, Nick Nolte. He's just an ace in a hole.
Apparently, in the casting of Nick Nolte's role, they just took Nick Nolte's really famous mugshot, and they're like, "We need this man. We need this man."
Who is this guy? Oh, he's an actor? Sweet. Throw him in.
Like, oh, he's a famous actor.
Now, I'm not a big Hulk comic book geek. I don't know anything about the origins of Hulk and all the different stories that go along with it. But to me, it was weird that the Hulk, he kept growing throughout the movie. He kept getting bigger and bigger. I don't know if you noticed it, but I don't know what it was. Like, his rage, just the more angrier he got, the bigger he got. But there's one point where he was like bigger than her house. You're like, what? Why is he getting so big? And of course his shorts still fit.
I just remember Nick Nolte's character, the father, turning into some sort of electric Hulk monster.
The whole ending conflict with Bruce Banner and his father and their face-off at the end was so unnecessary and just ruined it. It just... Also, one thing to note is the film is very heavy-handed. It's not very fun. Like, you've got most superhero films now all want you to at least have fun while having somewhat of a serious time. This movie was pretty much all serious. You've got the whole backstory of Bruce's parents and what happened to his mother. The Hulk is a tortured character throughout. So you're just like, ugh.
Of any superhero movie we have talked about or will talk about, this movie by far is the boringest superhero movie I've ever seen. I was fading. I saw it with my sister. She fell asleep through an hour and a half of it. Seriously, almost the whole movie. And I was fading, and I was looking around the theater. I was bored.
Yep. This is the first movie I have ever walked out of in a theater. This is the second time I saw it, mind you. But I went to see it again at the cheap theaters, and I seriously got a half hour in, and I was like, okay, I can't take it. I'm out.
You tapped out.
I'll never walk out of a film that I paid for. This one, I couldn't handle it. I mean, I like the Edward Norton version. It's better. It's still not a great movie, but it was at least a lot better than this. This is a piece of crap.
How hilarious is it that out of any films, they definitely made a reboot of a superhero movie so quick. Like, there's never been another superhero movie that they rebooted as quickly as the Hulk.
Yeah, they're like, we need to save this guy.
Literally, like 2 years later, they had a new Hulk movie because they're like, just kidding, starting over.
Do over.
Forget about that last one.
Yep. Okay, number 3 that has a lot of history with our group of friends. What's number 3, Michael?
Number 3 is Daredevil.
Oh.
Ooh, starring Ben Affleck and Colin Farrell.
Oh, wow, what a cast. And Kevin Smith.
Oh, don't forget Jennifer Garner as Elektra. This was just such a bad movie. First of all, they took the premise of Daredevil and amped him up more superhuman than expected. Like, Daredevil in the comics, there is nothing special about Daredevil. He is blind. That's the great thing about him. He has a disability, and yet he's a superhero. But in this movie...
he's got sonar and can...
He's got sonar, and he can see everything through here. Perfectly. It is ridiculous.
Except when you shake up them sound waves by hitting something loud nearby.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I can't. Oh, where am I? Where am I? Yeah, like, that alone, first of all, took the comic book and totally just took a nasty turd right on the first issue.
And first of all, you don't cast a girl as a love interest that actually looks like a dude. That's what they did with Jennifer Garner. And we wanted to put Elektra on this list, but we refused because we haven't seen it. We refused to see it. So this is, as an aside, we'll link them together because I am absolutely sure that Elektra would be on this list if we had seen it. Kevin Smith was a big, big Daredevil fan. This is Kevin Smith's favorite comic book character ever. So naturally they put him in the movie. I'm not sure what other ties he had in the creation of this movie. But I hate Kevin Smith. I used to like Kevin Smith a little bit until I realized that his writing sucks. And just seeing him in this movie just made me hate it all the more. I hate his... we're not going to get on Kevin Smith. We'll do Kevin Smith another time. Because I'll keep going. So Daredevil, awful movie. Absolutely awful. Just trying to bank on Spider-Man's success.
Yes.
So, number 2,
Uh,
it pains me more than anything to not put this at number 1, because this, in fact, is my number 1 least favorite movie ever, any genre, hands down. And that movie is Catwoman, with Halle Berry.
Halle frickin' Berry.
Wow. I mentioned this before in the awesomely bad part of our last show, where we talk about movies that were just so bad that you are pissed off because you wasted your life. And this was the only movie that I can recall where I have really, really been angry after watching it, just because I've wasted so much time watching this stupid movie. Okay, for one, let's start this off. It's not Selena Kyle anymore. What's her name? Patience something?
Patience.
The whole creation of her character becoming Catwoman is the dumbest thing I've seen in film history. Okay, so she dies. I forgot how exactly she died. I think she drowned or something. So she's laying on the ground. All these cats are coming up to her. This also is going to sound like a dream or something bizarre from some alternate reality, but this actually happened. These cats all gather around her, and this main cat walks up to her. It farts out a green gas from its mouth, and this turns her into Catwoman. So I think we find out later that the cat was some Egyptian goddess or something like that. I mean, that plot point right there is just the most ridiculous thing I've heard ever. Oh, what else is wrong with this film? There's so much wrong with it. Sharon Stone is in it, and she's terrible. And as a villainess, her main superpower, I should say, is her makeup. She has some lame makeup line that turns her skin to like steel, and that's her superpower. So she can take a hit because of her steel makeup. Oh, wow. And I was so angry watching this. And the whole basketball sequence where she's she's showing off her basketball skills. Oh my god. You need the YouTube Catwoman basketball and watch this scene, because it is the worst editing you'll ever see. Just listen for how much she laughs in the whole sequence. She's just like it's like it's so uncomfortable to watch. It's like a really bad music video.
I don't understand. I think one of the biggest problems with the movie is, who is this movie supposed to appeal to? Oh, finally a superhero movie for young women. Marvel meets Maybelline. I don't even know if the actors even cared about this movie. You won an Oscar for,
Yeah, well, guess what, Hallie? You won a Razzie for this. So, congratulations.
She's winning them all.
Yep. In case you didn't know, the Razzies are the opposite of the Oscars. It's the worst film awards. And I believe Catwoman won the Razzie and Halle Berry won the Razzie. And she actually showed up to accept her award, so that's
really?
Rare. Yeah, that's pretty rare.
That's hilarious. Yeah, she knew it was a crap pile. Steaming hot cat hairball. Well, finally, it's been a long journey. Now we've finally reached number 1.
I don't think there will be any disputing this.
We have the one, the only, Batman and Robin.
Woo!
Oh, no! Oh, George Clooney, there is a dark spot on your career.
That dark spot looks like nipples on the bat suit.
Yes, can we just be like, there was nipples on the bat suit?
That's it.
That's it. That's all we need to say.
That's all we needed to say for Ghost Rider was Nicolas Cage, and this one, it's Batman nipples.
Yes. But wait, there's more. We're not going to let this one get off that easily.
No.
Oh my gosh, everything about this movie was horrible.
It had a decent cast, and everyone was in rare form at how bad they were.
Yeah, like
Uma Thurman. I mean, it's like Joel Schumacher was directing them, and then saying, oh, no, you sound too much like a good actor. Please, this time around, can you say it as if you are retarded?
Yeah.
I want to know who designed the film. They have like neon lights everywhere, and everything's glowing, and it's like a nightmare. It's a nightmare that this actually happened.
Yeah.
George Clooney sucked. First of all, you cast Batman based on his chin and mouth. And George Clooney has like, he's got Jay Leno chin and Jay Leno mouth. Like just really weird, like, meow. You've got Arnold Schwarzenegger just crapping up a storm over here.
Yeah, he stole the show to me as far as Crap Fest.
Let's kick some ice.
Oh my gosh. Just like, everybody chill.
Let's just listen to some Arnold Schwarzenegger right now.
Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
Allow me to break the ice.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! Stay cool, bird boy. Let's kick some ice. All right, everyone. Chill. Cool party. Revenge is a dish best served cold.
He's a great one-line deliverer because of his accent. And he's usually really good at making something so funny. But this is so stupid. You just... I mean...
It's so funny. Oh, man. It's so bad.
This is a guy that stabbed a guy to a post and said, "Stick around." And he, and you're like, that is awesome. Or at the end of Commando when he throws a pipe through a guy's chest. There's something with him and impaling people. But he impales a guy with a steam pipe and all the steam's coming out of the pipe and he's like, "Let off some steam, Bennett."
Oh, man.
And you're like, that's awesome. That's just Arnie. And so I think they tried to exploit the fact that he's a great one-line deliverer and just gave him the worst possible lines. It's like, there's no way he can ruin these lines. Let's kick some ice.
Oh, man. Yeah. And
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. I mean, we're over here complaining about Spider-Man 3 having 3 villains. Well, 2.5 because one of them's half a villain. And then this movie has probably like 20 villains. It never ends. There's just so many villains in this movie. It's kind of like if you've ever seen Mortal Kombat Annihilation. They literally throw in every character from the Mortal Kombat franchise. They throw in one character for seriously one scene. He jumps in the scene and then he dies. And you're like, wow.
Wait. Don't get ahead of yourself, Jared. We should probably say that on episode 2.
Okay.
Jeez, that was horrible. Batman and Robin was horrible.
Yes. It got it wrong on every level. The directing, the acting, cinematography, the concept, the story, everything was so perfectly bad. It just deserves to be here on everyone's list.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's our list.
That's our list.
Oh.
Aren't we glad there's Dark Knight Rises and Batman Begins and Iron Man?
I'm a big Tom Hardy fan. I'm excited to see him play Bane in the new Dark Knight movie.
Yeah, that should be good. Oh, and also, we could go off on this, and we'll probably talk about this later in a few months, but the Avengers movie. Are you excited about the Avengers movie?
I am. I mean, every movie that has led up to it has been somewhat decent. They haven't done really a bad job on any. I'm not too terribly excited, but I'm sure it'll be a decent movie.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's some people that are like pooping their pants over this, that they're so excited, but
yeah, this thing has been in production for like 10 years.
I think it's so awesome that they've been just like building each piece, each character, like piece by piece, and Samuel Jackson is the like subtle glue that appears in every one of the movies.
Yeah.
But I just like by the time we actually see the movie, it's gonna be like, it was the wait was better than the actual movie, and then we'll see the movie and it'll be like, it was okay, not much character development.
Yeah, you guys, there's too many freaking people on here.
Yeah, it's like, screen is so crowded.
Yeah.
Get freaking way, Scarlett Johansson.
Because, well, they've really not built up everyone, so they're going to have to do some stuff with, like, the Hulk. I mean, because if you're going to throw a whole new Hulk in there, you got to kind of lead into it. I don't know, because they've had two completely different storylines. So which Hulk are we going to get here? They're kind of going to have to give us a little bit more story with the Hulk. And then we've got Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, who was in Thor for like 20 seconds, just like walked in and was like, "Should I shoot him? No, don't shoot him. Okay, well, see you in the Avengers, baby."
Yeah.
Where's my money?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the Hulk this is referring to is the one that Edward Norton was in, and Edward Norton, the only freaking person in the entire cast of all these movies that was like, I don't want to do it, I don't like the plot. It's like way to just freaking throw off this master plan, you douche. I love Edward Norton, but I heard he's kind of sometimes. Anyway, I think it's going to be good, but it's not going to blow anyone away.
Yeah, if we're doing some Rotten Tomato meter predictions, I'm guessing it'll be a solid 70.
I think it's going to be a little lower. I think it's going to be like, I'm going to say like a 50, like a 52.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see who's right.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Rotten Tomato guess for Dark Knight Rises? 98.
98. Yeah, my guess is around there too, because there's always going to be like the one or two, just like I just don't want to get a perfect score.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our show.
Yeah, thanks for listening. I've got a great idea for the next episode, and I think Mike will agree that this is an amazing idea. So you have to listen to our next show. The concept is going to be all about jumping the shark and where movies have jumped the shark, or as I like to say, nuke the fridge.
Yes. We'll totally explain that next week.
Yes, the origins of the whole phrase and the top 5 most shark jumped moments. It'll be awesome. So, you all have a great week. We'll see you next Saturday for our next show.
All right. See ya.
Bye-bye.